Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Today I'm gonna welcome you to my new skincare routine and a new kind of review of this sheet mask that I've never really tried and I've always been very curious. I did the unboxing the other day about it and I just wanted to talk to you guys about this one. So this is the new Advanced Genifique Hydrogel Melting Mask. This has been around for a while now, and I have to say that I'm very excited about it. This is a set that comes with 2 sheet masks, and I'm gonna now write down below the price of this sheet mask. It's comes with 2 of them, and it comes with a mini Genifique serum as well as Genifique eye. So what I'm gonna be doing is sharing with you guys my skincare routine. Right now, I'm currently using a my witch hazel that you guys saw that. Just drop it in cotton balls from CVS. And it says that for 10 minutes it just gives you a glow. For 20 minutes it gives you, okay, so for 10 minutes it's ready to put makeup on, 20 minutes for a glow, and then 30 minutes for your skin to have more of a new youthful look. I just recently showered, so we're just gonna go ahead and make sure our skin is ready for it. You can hear Kylie Minogue in the back room. She's playing the party today. So once I do that, this is my witch hazel that I've been using lately since I ran out of my clarifying lotion from Clinique. I'm gonna use this essence, which is actually a toner, but I use it as an essence because it's very hydrating, mostly right now that it's getting really cold. This is one of their Shiseido original products that's been around for a while. So if you have very dry skin in the winter, this is the one to go. Really cool. I love it. Then after I let that sink in, and lately I have been utilizing my Origins Planscription Anti-Aging Power Serum. This one will help with all signs of aging. I use 2 pumps. One of my friends told me just to use 2 pumps, not much, otherwise I'm gonna run out really fast. And then now I'm gonna use my Visionaire Crescendo. 2 pumps too, Visionaire Crescendo. This one will help me with pores, texture, and fine lines, prevent them and correct them over time with the continuous use of it. This one was given to me by one of my long-term friends. I love her so much. I love her to pieces. This one was given to me by my Origins friends too. Not the company, but friends that I truly care about, and I have enjoyed working with them. And then the next step will be the moisturizer. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna use my Dramatically Different Yellow Moisturizer. Just 2 pumps. That's plenty. I do a lot of skin preparation because I feel very dry lately and I just don't want to get any dark patches because that turns into dark spots. I just don't want that. I don't want that in my life. And in the meantime, while I let that sink in, I use my Clinique Smart Customer Repair Serum. I just use 1 pump. 1 pump is enough. I go ahead and dab it and warm it off in the finger on my tips, and then just go ahead and around my eyes. Try to do this as quick as possible so I don't take too much time from you guys. For all of you guys that are watching me right now, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and subscribe, and also click on the notification button. I greatly appreciate your support. And now we're gonna go ahead and do an eye cream. Now that it's been dry now. This is the Shiseido Future Solutions LX for eyes and the lines over here around your mouth. I just use whatever I can grab, not a lot. This has been lasting for a while. Like, their eye creams are like long lasting. So I go ahead and dab it, and I just press it into the skin. Now remember, I'm a 29-year-old man. Should I say gay male? And I've always been very cautious about aging, so let's see what comes inside of our gorgeous box over here. It says, new advanced Genifique hydrogel melting mask. It says, added into your routine to instantly see the results. This is a hydrating, comforting mask. It's made of hydrogel matrix that releases its ingredients by melting into the skin. Each mask contains the same amount of bifidus extract found in one full bottle of advanced Genifique. So it contains the same amount of bifidus. Bifidus is extract quantity from the advanced Genifique in one bottle. So basically, we'll give you the potency of utilizing Genifique bottle. And then what else it says here is our formula with bifidus helps to strengthen and protect the skin's moisture barrier. It reactivates the visible signs of youthful skin or youthful looking skin. Drop by drop reveal the skin that looks and feels smoother, more supple, and more luminous. In just 7 days, the skin looks visibly younger and youthful radiance returns. After 8 weeks of use, 10 key signs of aging are visibly improved. Smooth onto a clean face and neck morning and night before your everyday skincare routine. It's okay, we're gonna do it like I thought I was gonna use it. And then that's for the advanced night serum. Never mind. And then the eye cream is obviously for the eyes. So this product has a lot of information. Just has my code where I purchased it. I purchased it in Macy's because that's where I get most of my benefits. This one has a $35 value between both of them, and it says that the retail value will be $77.50. So I'm saving $42, and remove for gift giving. See if you want to remove this one right here. So let's see what else. They all come wrapped in a piece of paper, which I already gonna dispose. So this is the advanced Genifique that you use before your skincare routine, and this is the eye cream right here. So I have two of them. I actually have two boxes. If you guys saw my my LANCôME blockbuster. And what I'm gonna be doing is one for me, one for Romel, who is my partner, and then the other one for me, one for Romel. So I'm gonna leave it for 30 minutes because it says for 10 minutes. It just gives you your skin getting ready for makeup, 20 minutes for really natural glow, and 30 minutes just for your skin to be like shine bright like a diamond, pretty much. So, and I want to get more benefits out of it. Right now I believe it's like 12. And so what I'm gonna do is, I feel like it's gonna be complicated. I have so many sheet masks, but I've been wanting to try this and other brands, so I'm very excited. So let's see how this one looks. Doesn't smell like anything, which is pretty cool. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna apply the mask. You're not gonna see me talking because I wanna make sure I apply it correctly. And then once I'm finished after the 30 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and come back and give you my first review of my first impression. So, okay. So it said over there that I'm gonna have to remove this. So I'm guessing what I'm gonna be applying today, I have to remove the plastic one. This plastic one right here. Which one we're just gonna go ahead and, why not? Because it's Genifique. And I love Genifique. I live by Genifique. It has a scent. It has a rose scent, which is weird. That's so weird. It has a rose LANCôME scent. But that I don't like. So it says that it melts. We'll see in 30 minutes. If you guys have me on Instagram, you're probably gonna be able to see me over there. Or I can even wait over here with you guys. And I'll tell you more about my life. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna tell you more about my life. Okay. So time is running now. It stays just fine, which I feel like you can use this one, and then on top of it, you will be able to do your regular chores, activities, wherever it is. And I feel like it's more gummy, like I feel like it's different from the ones I've tried before. So let me talk to you a little bit more about me. For all of you guys that have no idea who I am, do not know who I am, my name is Felipe. I'm very pleased to meet you. I'm 29 years old. Let's see. Today I want to talk a little bit more about my personal life and what I've experienced in my last couple of years. I was born and raised most of my life with a lot of love from my family. I always grew up with my mother and my sisters, four of them, so I'm always pro-feminist. I've spent about 10 years in sorry, excuse me. I know that's how I do the repeatedly. So I lived in California for about 10 years, and I have to say that California has been one of the most culturally friendly, hardworking places that I've ever been to. California is one of those places that instantly just refreshes you and wakens you up. California is a place where if you are a free spirit, and by free spirit I mean you like to go hiking, you like to go diving, you like to go swimming, you like to go explore museums, all this kind of stuff, you're probably gonna enjoy California 100%. In my second year when I was in California, I started. Let me tell you a little bit more about my California life. The first year that I was in California, I tried so hard to get in college because I really wanted to go to college, but my dad, he's always been a farmer. He always do the chopping the grass and cutting it and make sure the grass is fine, cultivating either strawberries, avocados, berries. What else? Let me think. He's always been into the agricultural stuff, and he went to school until he was 10. Then after that, his parents took him away from school and put him to work. And my mom has been was until like 8 years. She said that she was crying when they pulled her out of the school. I'm sorry. Because she really loved going to college. I feel like my mother's main goal was for her children to be into college and and have a professional. And when I say professional, I mean like something more of a teacher, doctor, something like those kind of job activities, like a nurse, where we wouldn't be working as a really hard like my dad and her would do. Like she was a housewife, she was also a maid, she was also someone who would sew stuff for people, someone who would do chores for other people for money, of course, like cleaning their houses, making sure, maybe taking care of children. And I feel like she wanted the best for us. She didn't want us to repeat the same kind of path that she had, because she didn't feel like it was the best. Until my very first year that I spent with my dad, it was mind-blowing, and it was very shocking for me to see the culture. The people were different that I have ever experienced before. That's right here is tingling for some reason. For some reason, when I started living with him, he asked me, I remember clearly like if it was yesterday, he said, what would you like to do? And I said, I would like to go to college. And he said, good luck, because you're not going to be able to do that. And I remember one of my sisters was always, her name is Lourdes, and she was always like, well, you can do both. You can go to college, you can go to school. Well, sadly, I didn't have a car. Sadly, I had to work really hard. So all this, thoughts that I had, I was very naive, and I thought I was going to be able to do it. And I didn't realize public transportation was going to be hard in California for me. Not as hard as it is in Indiana now, now that I see it in a different point of view. So for me, it was like a really shocking to see that the next day that the very second day that I spent in California, he took me work with him the yard. He took me cultivate stuff. He took me to repair houses, and that's how I was for a couple of weeks. And then I had never done that before, just for my mom's house, but I had never done it for money. I used to work in a bookstore. I used to work in a market before. I used to work as a writer before, where I'm from. And so it just was never something that I thought that I would be doing. And I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Then after that, I realized that my back was hurting a lot. I was not getting adjusted to the sun all the time. So then I started looking for jobs. I asked him if it was okay for me to look for jobs, and I didn't know I needed money. So the bus pass was $5, and I didn't have any money because I had just arrived. He would be very careful with the money. He wouldn't give me that much money. Sometimes he would give me $2, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, how do I go back? How do I ask the bus driver, to go back? And as a second language, it was really hard for me to approach them, and sometimes they would be like, no, you're not going to win the bus. No, you're not. I'm sorry, I cannot understand you. And I had so many issues going on. So I remember 2 months later, probably, I kept, I didn't know how to do a resume. Resumes and curriculums are completely the same thing, but there are different versions of them. And for me, it was just like mind-blowing how hard it was for me to find a good job. And I thought to myself, it's just getting really hard. So I went ahead and applied right across the street where we lived. There was a 7-Eleven, and I applied there. And that was my first job for the very first 6 years. I kept this for first. I had it as a full-time, then I became a part-time. Then I had another job becoming a caregiver, and then I was going to take classes for CNA, and then I was also taking classes for something that I was more passionate about, was teaching. And I felt like everything was really hard for me because, school was at least 3 hours in the bus. It was 15 minutes probably driving, but I didn't have any car. And at the moment, I was like, I'm just not gonna need a car. 5 years later, I left my job after working for almost a year in the caregiving position. I saw so many hurtful things that people would do. It was just not worth it for me. I have a sister who is disabled, and my father now has dementia or has developed kind of Alzheimer, and it comes from deep inside of me caring for others. But when I see some negligence, somebody being negative, somebody being unconscious about how to treat others, I just left the job. I couldn't resist it. I reported everything I could, but it was just not something that I really wanted to. Then this is kind of like a long story short. I remember every single day I would take the bus. I would be very tired. I would even fall asleep. Bosses would come and honk at me and be like, are you coming or not? And I would jump into the car. Then after that, I left my job I stopped working for about less than a month. And then I found another job in a place that's called Carlsbad. Carlsbad, it's a very nice, rich area for people who are more wealthy. And it's closer to La Jolla, closer to... I forgot the names of the other places, but it's so gorgeous and so pretty and so well relaxing. It's near to the beach, and it's kind of a paradise for me. It does has good. I do have good memories on it. And then after that, I remember I started working for this Latina woman in this gas station, and she would literally explode me every single day. Every single day, I worked there at Chevron, and I feel like. She never told me that I needed to use, a belt for my back, and I was never conscious about it. I had never worked so hard stocking stuff, and she would always put pressure, like, you gotta do this really fast. You gotta be the first. People who come with me and they succeed, the company always comes to me and always says who is the next manager, and I always have a good who would be a really good manager. So I was always hustling, always working really hard. And so this lady, I always wanted to please her, and I got my butt hurt, and I kept telling her, you know what, I have sciatica problems now. And she said, well, I told you to use the belt, and she never told me. And I was like, how do you deal with that? You know, it's your word against whoever's higher of you, whoever's, and she had been there for at least 10 years. And she was always like, even though she did something wrong, she was one of those people who would be like, well, it doesn't matter because, I told you, I warned you, I advised you. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna give up. And one day when I was, after working for them for less than 4 months, she said, I'm gonna go on vacation for a month and a half and you're gonna be in charge. And I had another job where at the 7-Eleven as a part-timer, and I was like, this is gonna be really hard. I was trying to save money for a car. I was helping my mother, and it just became really hard on me. And I ended up getting promoted to be a manager at another Chevron after she came back. But it was so painful. I worked really hard. I think I would sleep only 4 hours. I would wake up every single morning at 4 a.m. I would have one of my friends to come and pick me up and take me to Carlsbad from Oceanside. And then, because there were no bosses at the moment, and then I would get off at like 3 p.m., sorry, and then I would have to go back to the 7-Eleven and work at 4 till like 10 or 11 and then go back to sleep. And you would think, like, hey, you're making big bucks. You're not really. You are a single person who doesn't have any family, and taxes just come at you. And even though you want to expect to have like at least $1,000 every 2 weeks, you don't get that. And then rent is really high in California, which is one of the cons that I don't like about being or living in California. Rent is real expensive. I remember I used to live, for the longest time that I lived with my dad, we used to live in the garage of a Latino guy who would rent he would rent his garage to at least 10 guys. One will be sleeping in the couch, one will be sleeping on the floor, one will be sleeping in another, like one of those foldable couches, beds, and then I would be sleeping in a two-piece of a, like, how kids have one bed and then on top of them there's another bed. Well, my dad would sleep on the bottom and I would sleep on the top, and I would be very uncomfortable coming from a place where I was very comfortable before. We would be paying about $200 at least every month. And you gotta eat every day. You gotta spend money on bus passes. I didn't know that they had a monthly pass for $60. So I would be spending $5 every single day, and it was just hard. And then after 4 years of living in California, I decided I wanted to explore. So I started taking Greyhound to go to Los Angeles. And I've always been a really good and big fan of Britney Spears. So I started going to get into going to the Walk of Fame, seeing where her star was, where Christina Aguilera's star was, where Michael Jackson's star was. If you follow me on Instagram, you're probably going to see all those pictures from back in the day. And I remember those were, even though I had only the money to pay the Greyhound, which was $30, and then the money to at least eat at least $20 to $25, I would have an external battery for my phone, and I would have a battery phone case, and I would pray to God that none of those would stop working, so I could travel everywhere and Google everything. And I would walk from Venice Beach to Santa Monica, from Santa Monica, sometimes to West Hollywood. And I remember those were experiences that I would FaceTime all the time with my mother and my sister, and I would show them very happy, you know, how pleased I was that I was able to go over there. And when my dad found out, he said, well, people there are gonna steal your money, people there are gonna rob you, people there are gonna kick you, people there are gonna beat you up, you know, just be careful, yada yada. And I was just like all the time very careful about it. I felt like he wanted to compromise my travels with my mother, and my mother was like always praying to God that nothing would happen to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so dramatic. Like, mother, please understand 100% that none of that would happen, because I'm not in a gang. I'm not drinking all the time. I'm not hanging out with people who are not healthy for my lifestyle. So that's how she ended up finding out that I was traveling, and that's how she ended up finding out that I ended up going to Vegas for the first time. I ended up going to San Francisco for the first time by myself, taking the buses and exploring myself how it would go. And I remember, you know, being a guy coming from the country, from a farm, coming from somewhere that's very, very tiny. It was mind-blowing, and it would open my eyes so big, because I would see so many experiences. I would go to Palm Springs. I would go to all these places that they were very exciting for me. I would go hiking. There were so many things in my life that I found out, and I realized myself how much I needed a car, how much I needed a partner in crime with me that would want to explore life. And I have to say that Duhamel has achieved more than I expected in my life, because he's a person who, if I say at night, let's go and get some donuts, he would go with me and get some donuts. If I would go and say, hey, let's go hiking this weekend because I have at least $50, and that's plenty to go eat and plenty to fill up the gas, and no matter we're just gonna eat McDonald's, we're gonna go ahead and do it. And he would say yes. So I would say I'm thankful to everything in my life, to God, that I found Domel, because he's everything that I always wanted to experience my life with, and he's a person to do that. So I remember that I started exploring. I remember one time my mom told me, hey, don't go to Vegas, there's so many things going on. Don't go to San Francisco, that we don't know how it is, I don't even know where it is in the map. And I'll be like, mother, I already went there. I'll show you the pictures. I FaceTimed you when I was there. And my mom would be like, wow, you know, I've always been very free spirit and I'm always that kind of person who is always very supportive to others. And if you want to grow, go ahead and grow, you know, if that's what you want to do, let's do it. When it comes to this mask, it just kind of like, it's gonna really dry. I don't think it's gonna do anything for the 30 minutes because it's already super dry. Like, I can go like this and it's already spreading. I feel like they say 30 minutes just because they want to give you that 30 minutes. So I have to say, throughout my whole life in California, I have experienced so many good stuff and at the same time so many bad experiences. Nowadays I hear people saying, oh, well, I've been doing online dating, and you know, I started dating when I was 14 or 15, online dating. I was not into, you know, having sexual encounters. I think I started my the very first sexual encounter I had, it was when I was 18. So to me, people nowadays that just want to, you know, find a good love, find the love of your life, find somebody, sometimes online dating doesn't work. It took me from 14 to until when I was 25, from online dating to find somebody in real life, to find that half that I needed, who is a male. And I have to say, it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of mistakes. Even with him, I've made so many mistakes, and I'm thankful and I am grateful that he has forgiven me, forgotten in a way that we're human beings, and I'm pretty sure he feels regretful in a way for things that he has done to. And I'm not saying about cheating and lying. I'm just saying, you know, yelling at each other, saying, you know, slapping and one to each other. You know, there's always up and downs, and sometimes you are not very supportive to the other one, and sometimes you are. So I feel like I'm just gonna take it. Can you see that it's also dry? So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. I feel like it didn't melt. It just didn't melt. but my skin looks very nice, very rosy. It looks really, really good. So now that I have finished, I'm gonna go ahead and do my last step, which will be my moisturizer. But I want to go ahead and turn on my light so you guys can see me. So I feel like you guys can see me. So now I'm gonna do my Clinique Smart Custom Repair Moisturizer. I just grab a little bit. A little goes a long way. So I hope you guys like this kind of like experience and that I'm telling you a little bit more about my personal life and my current life. If you guys want to hear more, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Make sure you comment down below. Otherwise, I would never know if you guys like this kind of videos. I would gratefully and thankfully appreciate you experience. I have so many good stories about California, and this is just like a tiny bit that I told you from the very first 3 to 4 years that I lived there. My face feels really silky smooth, and for extra pump of hydration, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my my LANCôME GENEFIQUE multivital oil. Just gonna do a couple of drops. So I'm just doing this because I want a little bit of extra hydration. It just feels very nourished. I've never actually have my skin so glowy and so silky smooth. It just feels like butter. It does feels like butter. I'm not lying. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like it, please make sure you give a thumbs up. If you guys don't like it, make sure you comment down below. And then subscribe and click on the notification button, as well as you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm always trying to make sure I share my day-to-day life with you guys. I hope you guys like it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Spread some love.